Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me today in Study Secret tip number 29. Man, so this one is very, very important. This is the tips that we are going to go through. What are you going to do on the day of the exam? And many people, they have prepared so well for the exam, but if you are not mentally, physically, and psychologically prepared for the day of the exam, you're going to end up doing far worse than what you would have done. You could behave, or because remember, on the day of the exam, you can't change anything. Whatever you have learned, you've got it in your brain. There's nothing you can do about it. So on the day of the exam, there's no point stressing yourself out, right? So let's look at the exam day strategies. What are the secrets for that exam day? Because if you're not mentally focused, you're going to ruin your whole day. And meanwhile, you've studied so hard, you could have got a distinction, but you ended up with 60% because you were not focused, right? So remember this. The night before the exam, make sure that you are preparing for success. And by doing this, pack your bag the night before. Don't do it on the morning of the exam, because the morning of the exam, you must be totally relaxed. So pack your bag the night before. Make sure you got your ID document, whatever you need, your pens, your student number, your calculator, snacks, whatever you need. I don't know if they allow computers and iPads and that in exams. I don't know. Look, I'm 65 years old. So whatever you need, take whatever you need. But the main thing is pack all of that the night before. Take out your clothes for the next day the night before. Make sure you polish your shoes the night before. I used to always love being prim and proper for my exams. I used to make sure that I have the best clothes. I used to keep the best perfume. I used to polish my shoes the night before the exam, because I used to make sure that the day that I go for my exams is as if I'm going for an interview, a job interview. So you've got to be very prim and proper. And for us as medical students, we had to be very professional, because we had two types of exams. One was the written exam, the other was the oral exam, where you had to stand in front of the professor or examine the patient. So you had to be at your best. You need to, your brain has got to be best, and you got to look the best as well. So you dress, but you can dress how you want. If you go with your tracksuit or jeans, or with a hole in your jeans, that's totally up to you. You must wear what you feel comfortable with, because that is your day. For me, I preferred being prim and proper. If you feel more relaxed, you must do what suits you. Don't copy other people. You must decide what suits you, because this is your day. This is your exam, right? So eat a light, healthy breakfast. Don't overstuff yourself. Then halfway you need to run to the toilet, and you're feeling distressed, and you've got reflux, and you need to get your Nexium and all your Gaviscons and all your antacids. So don't do that, please. Have a light, healthy breakfast. You're not going to die if you're not going to have a healthy breakfast. But please remember, nutrition is very, very important for the brain. Don't go hungry to an exam. And this is a sad reality in South Africa, because there are so many people living in this country who are poor or living in poverty. And they've got to wake up for the morning of the exam and go hungry to the exam. How do you expect such children to perform well, right? And that is why Madiba Nelson Mandela, started what is known as the lunch club, or I think it's breakfast and lunch. But sadly, I don't know if that is still continuing, but then there was a lot of fraud and corruption happening. And I think this is very, very shameful, that food that is supposed to go into the mouths of children, people were stealing the money that is supposed to go into the mouths of children. And this is shameful and disgusting. So the criminals, please, why don't you get an education and don't take food out of the children's mouths, right? So let's leave that aside. But remember that you need three things for your brain: glucose, oxygen, water. So have something light for breakfast, right? Have sugar in there, because you need your sugar, you need water, you need hydration, and then you can go for your exams. You must arrive early. I don't know how to emphasize this, but I am OCD about punctuality. I don't know about you. There are two types of people. Some people will chill if they come 2 hours late, and they'll still be chilled out. Other people will stress even if they come 10 minutes early. I am the person who's OCD about time. If someone tells me to be there at 10 o'clock, I'll make sure I'm there at 9 o'clock. It freaks my family out. And many times I will go with my own car, and they will come with their own car, because I'm the type of person, If I'm not early at a place, it freaks me out because I like to arrive early because I also have a problem with irritable bowel syndrome. So I walk around, I check where all the toilets are because if you go to any shopping mall, I'm a master. I'll tell you where all the toilets are because I don't, when there's an emergency, I don't like to panic. So for your exam study, it may not be practical to come an hour, but please don't come late. Don't arrive at the exam and you find the exam hall is quiet and everyone is busy writing the exam because that's going to freak you out. I'm telling you right now, that is going to freak you out. So please remember, whoever's taking you to school, take into account there may be a traffic jam, there could be a car accident on the way, or maybe on the way to the school or to the university. What if you have a flat tire, or what if you have a puncture? So you got to think of all of these things. Because if you're going to have a flat tire, are you going to destroy your whole life because you do not plan properly? So please remember, you rather leave early, get there early, you relax there, and then you can walk calmly into the exam room, right? And read all the instructions carefully, follow the instructions, and then manage your time. Don't get stuck on one question, as what we mentioned before. Find if you got, if I'll give a very simple example. If you've got 100 marks, you say you've got 10 questions, 10 marks each. So that means you got 100 marks. And you've got 120 minutes, you've got 2 hours for that exam. So basically, you remove the 20 minutes because you need 20 minutes at the end, for your revision and going back through the exam again. So if you got 2 hours for the exam, you set aside 100 minutes for 100 marks. So if the first question got 20 marks for the first question, you give yourself 20 minutes for that. If the second question got 5 marks for it, you only give yourself 5 minutes for that. If the third question got 14 points for it, you only give yourself 4 minutes, right? But please make sure that if you haven't finished a particular question, let us say you're busy with question number 1 and you've reached your 20-minute limit, you got to stop that question. Don't keep on writing. Don't punish the next question because of your slowness in question 1. You immediately go to question number 2. When the time is up, you go to question number 3 until you finish the exam paper. But remember, you still got 20 minutes at the end. Then you quickly go back to question number 1. You fill it up and you go to all the other blanks and you fill it up. But you must be very, very disciplined on your time. And many people fail on this point because they get so stuck on 1 or 2 questions that they leave the other questions totally blank. Remember, if you leave a question blank, you have got 0 on that. Bonus tip: start with easier questions to build your confidence. Stay well, stay focused. Alhamdulillah.